Our contention is that every baptized Christian is baptized into a vocation of witness. It's a calling based on our identity as someone who has seen and trusts the power and the goodness of the risen Jesus. But whenever we talk about this, there are always lots of questions and challenges. Generally, the challenges fall into 4 categories: moral, relational, personal, and logistical.
The main moral challenge goes something like this. I don't believe we should evangelize. Maybe Christianity is right for me, but my friends who believe differently are happy the way they are. And who am I to say they're misguided about God and I have the truth? It's a good question, but there are 2 basic problems with this type of statement. The first is the who am I part. It sounds like a statement of humility, that I don't have any more access to the truth than anyone else does. It feels like a humble posture. Except that it's only humble sounding to people who agree. It's actually a strong assertion of belief in a particular view. Saying, I can't know the truth, is logically self-defeating because the subtext is the truth is I can't know the truth.
All of us believe some things are true about the world, about ourselves, and about God. The question is, what do we believe and is it worth sharing? If Jesus is actually God's son who died and rose from the dead, that seems like truth and it seems like it's worth sharing.
But how it's shared is just as important as what is shared. And that's where the main relational challenge is leveled. That one goes something like this. Being a witness destroys relationships and it demeans people because it makes us treat people as conversion projects instead of the beautiful people that they are. A second and closely related relational challenge is the fear of rejection. What if I share what I believe with my friend, colleague, or family member and they reject me? Well, first of all, we have to affirm that no one should be treated as a project rather than a person.
Yes.
And evangelism has gotten a bad rap in part because many Christians have done just that. They have used overly simplistic formulas to try and convert people to get their numbers up instead of loving the person in front of them.
But just because a lot of people have bad cooking habits doesn't mean you stop eating. Let's look at a different, healthier, and more loving way to be a witness. We like to call it, if you're ready for this, being a friend.
Yeah, I mean, some people use the term friendship evangelism, which honestly still feels like you're befriending someone for the sole purpose of converting them. But that's not what real friendship is. Real friendship is a mutual commitment to each other's flourishing. That includes spiritual flourishing,
Yes.
but every other kind of flourishing as well. Plus, real friends know each other. I mean, they really know each other. If you have a friend that doesn't know about the central core of your life, about how you see the world, about how you see yourself, or your animating motivations for doing the things you do in life, do they really know you? I mean, being a real friend means sharing those parts of yourself that are important to you and receiving the parts of others that are important to them as well.
Remember, being a witness is not about converting anyone. It's about sharing what you've seen and heard. And so it happens, sharing is crucial to a friendship as well as a witness.
This bleeds right into the personal challenges, which go something like this. But I'm not an evangelist. I'm not gifted for that. I don't feel like enough of an expert on the Bible or theology to do a very good job. I just wouldn't know what to say. Now, this one is sometimes the hardest challenge to actually move through because it strikes at the heart of how we see ourselves. But the reality is that Christianity did not move from a group of 12 born apologists and public speakers to the rest of the world. It started with 12 fishermen, accountants, activists, and tradesmen. It spread through the lips of ordinary people because being a witness is again just about sharing what you have seen and heard. And we all do that in various ways all the time.
You don't need to be an expert for that. In fact, sometimes it's better that you're not. Plus, if someone is interested enough to ask you a tough question, they'll probably respect you for saying, I don't know. But that's a good question, and I'll dig into it more. Can I get back to you on that? Their tough questions will almost certainly have the effect of deepening your faith.
And if your sharing is coming from loving and humble friendship, accompanied by listening to your friend share as well, the chances people will actually reject you are pretty small. That's not to say it can't happen, and it is painful when it does. But God will hold you. He will never leave you. But in order to share our real lives with our friends, we actually have to be in relationship with people who don't follow Jesus. And that's where the logistical challenge sometimes comes in. It's less common in the Bay Area, but sometimes Christians might say something like this. Well, the thing is, I'm not really in a relationship with anyone who's not a Christian. I'm just too busy. My friends are people at the church, and the only people I know who aren't followers of Jesus are colleagues, and I can't share about this stuff at work.
First, we have to say that if the church is keeping you so busy that you can't make or maintain friendships outside the church, please come and tell us to take something off your plate. Our purpose is to display the beauty of God's story. And if you're too busy to do that in your daily life, we want to help unburden you.
But if part of that is just how you have structured your life with the types of things you're involved in, you might want to consider how you can rearrange some things. Every Christian is called to be a witness to Jesus' activity in our lives. If your calendar is getting in the way of that, it might be time to shake things up a bit. Perhaps it looks like inviting your colleagues out to or over for dinner. Remember, the purpose isn't to pop the Jesus question on them or something like that, but rather to simply become friends. Consider praying and asking God who in your workplace He's calling you to befriend. Grab coffee with them, go for a drink, or get some food and just get to know each other. And who knows, you might end up with a great friend and a more fun and purposeful place to work.
There are certainly other ways to connect with people, but the main thing is making it a priority and being creative about who you allow yourself to befriend and what you allow yourself to talk about as you share more and more of yourself with each other.
If your identity is grounded in the gospel and your sharing is grounded in relationship, over time you'll see beautiful things happen in the lives of your friends as you share your lives with each other.